Hello everyone, this is Myths and Magic and welcome back to part 14 of the D&D story series in campaign 1. And for all of you who are watching at home, I'd like to wish you a happy new year. It's 2024. I hope you've been enjoying yourself throughout the Christmas holidays and I hope you relaxed and rested. And as per usual, just sit back, relax and enjoy.
After the coronation ceremony, Ronolf decided he would venture off with his companions. He had come to know and respect his people throughout the time they spent in the Lich's domain, and wished them no harm for a cause that was his own. Instead, he wanted to build a kingdom in the mountains, so the Goliaths were left to scavenge for food and materials until their king returned. The group exited the skull-like cave entrance, finally exposed to the cold once again. The wind howled as it passed through the mountains, wildly blowing flakes of snow. Another day passed and they stopped off at an overhang, where they camped for the night. Thankfully, Ronolf had thought to carry a sack of dried wood before the journey, so they set up a fire for the night. While the other two placed their hands over the fire, Ronolf spoke his mind. "How long will this take?" "What?" Augustus said. "This journey. How long will this take?" Freya and Augustus looked at one another. "I know you wish to return to your people," said Freya, "but I am trying my best to pinpoint his location with a map this dwarf gave us some time ago." He held up the map and under a rock Seeker had passed to him back at Cragmore Castle. "I know we draw close. This map shows stashes of gold and resources near the mine, perhaps small off-branches coming off the main thing. All the caches are in these mountains, and Angorak pointed towards here, so I'm sure we're not too far off." Ronolf stared back at the ground, almost begrudgingly. Day repeated day, night repeated night. The coldness slowly dug harder and harder with icy teeth. The only thing somewhat pleasurable about the journey was the views from atop the mountains. The landscape sprawled below. As much as the trio felt tired and beaten, they were on top of the world. The realm seemed endless before them, stretching out towards the horizon. The sun started to recline back to its refuge under the horizon. After days of travel they rested again, this time under cover of a small grouping of trees. Freya went to go hunt for some deer with his trusty crossbow, grabbing some bait from their supplies and rations for himself in preparation for the long hunt. They were fed for the night on some rabbits and rations, but their supply was running out, and Freya figured a hot, large meal could do some good for their morale. The food had gotten repetitive by this point, so some different meat or stew with some herbs would be appreciated. As he set out, the snow crunched beneath his feet, leaving behind a trail. He trekked through the mountains, climbing up and down hills and the craggy, uneven terrain. About an hour in of trying to find something, he heard the sound of rushing water. He figured the sound could cover his tracks. Looking over a ridge, he saw an open clearing leading to a large cave. Some smaller caverns lined the outer walls of the clearing. Inside, he saw an abnormally large bird feasting on a bloodied animal, raw. Using his elf eyes, he peered deeper into the scene. Beside the large bird was a large staff, and what appeared to be a set of glasses and a book. The large bird was wearing something too. Leather armor. Freya knew what this creature was, a kenku, a sentient race fashioned in the style of a bird, often mistaken for Aarakocra, but they were more humanoid from the face down. Kenku usually adopted more bird-like features. This one was an eagle, with long limbs and wings shading the ground beneath it. As he watched on, a shadow fell over the ground just beneath him. At first he didn't notice, focused on the scene below. That was until he felt something nudge against him. In the moment he couldn't discern what it was, but it felt like a paw. He turned to see a large figure silhouetted in front of him. The moment went by quickly, and within the next second, his world faded to black. The morning came and Ronolf awoke, hungry and parched. It appeared the deer that was promised had not come. Neither had Freya. His mood was soured. He stepped a little away from the camp and grabbed a rock and started sharpening his axe. Eventually, Augustus woke. After coming to the same realization, he seemed slightly more agitated. "Where is he?" "Who?" Ronoff asked. "What? Who do you think? Freya?" "I don't know. I thought he was still out hunting." "It's midday. He said we're drawing closer to the Black Spider. He could have been captured or worse, tortured, maybe killed." Ronoff's face morphed into one of fear. Augustus continued. "Come on, get your stuff, and let's go." They geared up, and with Ronoff at the front they followed the footsteps and tracked him down. Eventually they reached a point where the tracks started to fade, and now their mission was based on guesses and initiative. Veering off from the end of the tracks, they continued. Something caught Augustus's eye. Tracks, but not humanoid ones. These were large and of a four-legged creature. They were in the shape of a paw. Freya awoke with his head pounding. He tried moving his hands, but they were bound and wrapped against something huge, wooden and round. He observed his surroundings. The sound of rushing water continued, coming from some waterfalls nearby. He was in the clearing, and a table was in front of him with two figures sat around it. One was a lanky, tall figure. The other was brute and wide. He overheard their conversation. A high, shrill voice came from the lanky Kenku with glasses. "I expect his friends will come back any time soon. This one looks like the warlock." He turned to his larger companion. "Arto, I need you to look out for a Goliath or a man with golden armor. Can you do that for me?" "Shouldn't we call Draco?" the other responded. "No. He's with Nesnar and his Black Knight friend. Unless you want to go through the sprawling caves, we stay here and defend the entrance." "But he's got guns. It'll make it a lot easier for us." "Draco's a cheater. He lacks the skill or wit to fight any other way, and that lizardman cretin flaunts them around like it's nobody's business." "Whatever, Osric. We always got to do what you say." Arto turned towards Freya and started walking towards him. In the lights, Freya saw he was a bear, walking on both its hind legs and wearing similar leather armor to Osric. "Looks like he's awake." "Ah, Freya Kane, I presume. A fellow scholar in magic, though you obtained yours in less sophisticated ways." "Hello, Mr. Osric. I didn't know the Black Spider has a thing for animal-themed henchmen. First it was a wolf, now a bear and an eagle." He started laughing to himself. "Oh, and I heard mention of a lizard folk with guns. This is bloody ridiculous. Have to fight for a whole menagerie to fight Nesnar." "Oh, you overheard our conversation." Osric paced around. "I don't appreciate your unsavory comments." Arto hit him. Hard, but not enough to kill him. "Can I break stuff?" "No. Keep him intact for now." The bear kicked him in the side of the leg. He felt it go dead. After what seemed like ages of recovering, he spoke. "So, Nesnar wants us alive?" "No. Originally he wanted you killed, but orders came from higher up." "Who's higher up?" "Some knight. He had a strange name." "In black armor, you said?" Freya questioned. If he was right about who this was, he was sure to tell Augustus. "Why is he asking the questions here?" Arto said. "Why don't we leave him to rot?" The pair left him tied to the tree. About an hour passed, and now the bounty hunters moved away from their captor. The time droned on, and his hands began to grow restless and uncomfortable as the rope began to grind against his wrists. Suddenly, a yellow crackle of lightning bellowed from the heavens. Freya looked to his side and cackled. He was right. His party had come for him. Leaping and springing from the cliffs, Augustus brought his sword up in an arc with yellow energy crackling around it. Joining him was King Voronoff, his ice crown shimmering and glistening alongside the ice that had grown around his body and axe. Arthur and Osric looked on in horror at their impending doom. Thank you for watching. As usual, I appreciate your continued support. Furthermore, if you enjoy this sort of content, please like and subscribe. Just to let you know, due to some exams that are coming up, because I'm still in school right now, I might take a week's break from uploading some video. But there is something good that will come out of this as well. I have the next few episodes planned, so there will be the actual end of this storyline, and there will be a epilogue-style closure section, which I'm quite excited for, which will just wrap everything up, I think, neatly and segue into the next series. The idea is that there's the next episode, then the episode after that will be the final one, or there might be another one after that, and then there'll be the closure episode or 2. So that's the plan for the future right now. I'm not entirely sure when this week's break is probably going to happen due to exam timings being a bit vague right now, but for now, I'll see you in the next video.